Okay, so they wanted to see this game. This is a game that we covered before already for the YouTube channel. But this one we can cover a little bit more in depth and maybe talk a little bit more here. We're going to keep it like 15, 20 minutes anyway, too, putting this on YouTube. What's up, D Price? What's good? Yo, hey, look, this game right here was me versus Pablo de Morte, right? This was the most recent tournament I was at, International Master. And I played white here. This was my first time, too. First trip, you know, to London with Jobava. You know what I'm saying? That I actually I had a YouTube video on that. I don't think it was this game. Maybe it was Winning Big with Jobava or something like that. I don't remember the name of it. But Pablo Escobar, the international. Hi James, long time no see. What up? 80 Halo, right? So this is the game, right? So I played D4 out here. What you know about that? Canty playing D4, bro? What? Wow, wow. But see, the thing is, these days you got to stay unpredictable out here. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but you could also play. I mean, you just want to be flexible, and you know, I want to let people know. Look, I can play E4, I can play D4. Even in this same type of tournament, I played C4 as well. Right. You know. So, okay, D4, Knight F6, Knight to C3. So I'm playing my Jobava on my Jar Jar Binks London, and then after D5, Bishop F4. Right. So, okay, so after Bishop to F4, this is one of my favorite openings to play. Is why I actually really like this opening. I know. I mean, I didn't study. I know right now I got 60 games in the database of strong grandmasters that play this. Then I got 50, 100, 150. I have 150 games analyzed of my own on 3 different training accounts that I maxed out on, you know, on the little tabs that you can put into the little studies and stuff so that I can get my games right. I analyzed all of them, put them into a file so that I have that, bro. I know this opening. I know this opening. So I'm playing this, right? He plays C5, right? Which is automatic. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And literally I'm blitzing the moves out. E3, this is all theory. Takes, and A6. I'm literally blitzing the moves out. I'm that kind of guy. Like, I really do like, that's my style. I like to play stuff all the time. It says E4 trader. Nah, bro. Hey, look, E4 and D4. You got to be a little flexible these days. I thought you were E4 for life. No, I still am. But, you know, you get stronger. And you understand that sometimes you got to switch it up a little bit, right? I'm sure he was not expecting me to play what I played. So I'm already a step ahead because he didn't even expect me to play this. So when, you know, you do all that prep for 2 hours and then you come out here and I play this and now he out here like, whoa, what do I even do? Bruh. And then, you know, I know it inside and out. Imagine how that you know, what kind of situation that puts him in, right? Love how you put time and hard work. Thanks, Magna. You had the positional game for NS. That's right. Just tune back in what we're looking at. This is a game that I played. Jess was like, yo, pull the game up. So I'm like, that. So we pulling the game up here. This is the game from International Master I played in my last tournament in Charlotte. And it was against this guy here, International Master Pablo de Morte. And I played this opening, right? So my Jobava, my Jar Jar Binks London, I'm a nasty with this opening. My performance rating on certain, like I'm looking at, you know, like games and obviously my training games. I had a performance rating. This was probably one of my highest opening wise. Performance rating was one of the highest out of all the openings I've tried and worked with. You know, honestly, I was like, dang, my performance rating was consistently like 2650 and above with this opening. This is a very strong opening. It just depends on how you play it, who you're playing, and etc. Stuff like that. I actually lost to this opening OTB back in 2019 against Andriy Gorovitz, who's a grandmaster. I mean, GMs can play literally anything OTB. Right. Let me tell you, and side note here, to that right here, this is what I saw, right? My coach gives me homework. Shout out to my coach, right? So I'm doing my homework, right? I'm going through these games, and I saw this in an OTB game. I couldn't believe it. He played E3 move 1, right? Guy played E3. Grandmaster plays E3 move 1. Then after the E3 move, you see something. I think he played D5 or maybe Knight F6. After Knight F6 happened, I could not. This is an OTB game, bro. What do you think the next move here was for white? I couldn't believe it. He played E3 and then Knight F6 and the Grandmaster, and he did it multiple times. I looked up his account, like, you know, just to see what he does over the board game. The man plays this like it's a real thing. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what this opening is. Never heard of it in my life. Never seen it, but he plays it a lot. Here it is. Yeah, Jess got it. It's G4, bro. G4. What the heck is this, bro? What is this? I'm telling you, I'm livid. If I'm over the board and I'm playing you, I'm livid. I'm absolutely livid. I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm trying to crush you. And I think that kind of energy is what makes you lose, because he actually won both of his games like this. Grandmaster 2500 plus, beating people with this opening. I have no idea what this is. This is, I mean, to me, it looks utterly 1000%. But at the same time here, he actually was winning games with this. So a lot of times it's not about the opening. Even my coach said that too, giving y'all a gym there. It's not really about what the opening is, depending on, who you're playing. When you're playing strong players, obviously, you are going to need the right openings. But just to tell you, he 2500 out here doing, I mean, he probably came off the head with this. Like, he literally, like, let me just move pieces and figure out what happens later. Like, this is, you don't do that in an over the board game. I mean, he really bored with chess at that point. So E3 G4, right, is what he playing. But you can play anything, whatever. It's a better grab, right? And he playing OTB, bro. OTB, beating people. So it really here, I'm playing my Jobava London, right? I'm playing this. This is all theory. He go knight C6, I go knight E5, right? Knight E5. This is literally all theory, guys. I'm not even thinking right now. Knight E5 and E6, okay? Then after I snap on C6, because in this position right here, which I used to play this from the black side, I no longer, I'm giving y'all some real Jedi tips here right now. I no longer play this type of way with the black pieces, with the Jobava line. I highly, and you know what's funny? This C5 line here, let me flip, I mean, y'all getting a super lesson right now, literally getting a super lesson. But C5 is a high level move. This move is high level. If you look in the database and you look at mini games, this is the move they usually go for. You'll see it in courses. You'll see it as recommendations. This is what people do. But in fact, this is the one that I hate the most. In fact, this is not the best one. And you also follow all what white does the entire time. In fact, to me, I mean, this line feels like it's at 100%. But after E3, takes A6, right? This is still the theory. Knight F3, Knight C6, Knight E5. Why don't I like this anymore? Well, okay, let's see. E6 takes. This is all theory still. And you put the knight on A4. I've seen many games like, I think Artemiev. Maybe it was Artemiev or Elisenko. Both played, one of them played bishop D3 here, followed by after a bishop D6, knight to E2. Oops, sorry, knight to E2 here with stuff like this, or playing bishop E5 and taking and castling, playing F4, rook lift, bishop looking crazy, right? It's like a French, but your bishop's terrible. And, in that kind of type of situation. The way that I play it, though, what's up, D Price? Let me pay for this lesson real quick. I appreciate you, my guy. Thanks, D Price. Thanks for the 5. Thanks for the 5. So after knight takes C6, right, pawn takes C6, this position right here is very critical. Why is it critical here? The theory is knight A4. 100%. Knight A4 is the move. This is why I play it. What is the whole object of this right here, right? Does this look aggressive? No. Does this look super tactical? No. It can be later, but right now it ain't none of that, right? And based off of my style, knowing who I am, right? Grandfather Tao, shout out to my granddad Tao, right? This is not the type of game that we go for all the time. But again, it's understanding the ideas, wanted to take my opponent out of book. I also know this inside and out very well. So I wanted to play it. And we play knight A4 here, right? And the whole idea is what for white here, guys? The whole idea for white, what is the plan, right? Why do I like this position? What would you say for white here? Let's get some pluses, like some pluses. Let's talk about the position here as white. What is good about it? What is good about it? Blockade the pawn and keep the bishop trash. It's seen unseen. I got a queen A5 from D Prices, right? But he can chase your knight with the queen. With queen A5 is what Magna's saying. +1 from Pepper Picante. Pepper Picante says +1 out here. Pieces have open lines to develop, says Rive. White is more active, says Elevation. You have room to develop your pieces. White is developed. Okay. I like it. You guys are right, right? All of this is correct. All of this is correct. Good pawn structure, active bishops. Perfect. Developed. Didn't commit to castle. Okay, perfect. So all of this is correct in all one realm, right? Put it all together. That's correct. Everybody's right there. Why is that correct? Well, the biggest thing is that in an end game, I just have a better structure. Literally thinking about the end game from the middle game. Wow, already thinking about the end game from the middle game. So here, my structure is just better. So if I'm able to just bully you, you have a terrible bishop. So trades are good for me, which makes this bishop be worse. And if I can trade the dark square bishop, which after knight A4, he plays bishop D6. I mean, literally, it feels like garbage. This move is absolutely garbage. How could it? I mean, but this is the move, though. This is the move. This is the move. In fact, I used to play this with the black pieces. So bishop d6 is an absolute terrible move, right? I mean, not that it's terrible, just understanding I know the plans and ideas. I'm like, dang, I mean, what do I do about this? So obviously I trade the bishop off. Knight comes to c5 now, right? And I have the c5 square. In fact, knight is supposed to reroute to d7. But again, the problem is this bishop. So I'm playing against this bishop the entire game. It's like you played a French, but it's terrible. Look at this bishop compared to the counterpart, which is better. There's also weaknesses. The knight's on c5. There's a weak pawn. There's a weak a pawn here. I got the 3 pawns, the better structure. I feel better. I can endgame you. I can GM and I am. You know what I'm saying? I can GM and I am. So what that means, right? What does that mean when you get GM'd? When you get GM'd, right? And that's like you played a good game and then, oh no, man, I was just fine. I was just fine. And then you got GM'd when like everything was all equal and you lost the game. that's getting GM'd, right? Like, or everything was fine, you was slightly better, and then you lost. You got GM'd. It happens all the time, especially when you're playing GMs. They will happen like that. So here in this type of situation, it's honestly equal. If you turn the engine on right now, it's quite funny. Right now it's zeros, move number 1, or line number 1. Line number 2 is minus 0.23, and line number 3 is minus 0.25. So very equal, basically, right? Very equal type of position. But you know, if you don't know the plans and ideas, you can get in a lot of trouble very quickly. Let's move on. I developed bishop d3. I know from theory the best move here is e5. He plays castles. Cool, perfect, that's fine. You could also play e5 as well, whatever. I'm waiting on e5. I castle too as well. And also I'm looking for this. If e5 immediately, we don't care about this. Pawn takes, queen e2. I literally take and don't care about my king here because my rooks come to the center of the board. And again, I'm playing with this. The knight goes to c5. Sometimes my king can sit on d4. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Know your end games. Make sure y'all set up for the Russian end game today because we will be covering part 5, by the way. We are going to be covering part 5 today. But of course, the king can sit here, right? And I'm in-gaming him the whole time. You still got to worry about these weak pawns. So immediately, I'm already just better. Isn't queen a5, bishop b4 a better idea for black instead of trading? In fact, that's absolute for you, D Price. And let me show you why. Okay, so right here. It's a great question, though. After queen a5 and we live, in fact, you're not live at all. You're about to get hit across your face. You blocking with your whole face here. I'm about to play b4. Knight c5, you get in a lot of trouble. c3 is the automatic move, and then of course this stuff don't work. I just play b4, right? And bishop d3 is coming. You in a lot of trouble. You in a lot of trouble. Has this game happened? Yeah, this game was already from last year. I don't remember. I can't remember when this tournament was. Takes, and then bishop d3. I go bishop d3. He castles. We castle. Then he goes e5. Again, this is still theory, guys. Takes, and then queen f3 is again following the theory. So what queen f3, can someone tell me about this move? What does this move actually do? What am I doing with queen f3, and what is going to be the follow-up? After king e2, would you push f3 to guard g4 and e4? Not really. You don't really care too much about those, really at all, to be honest. No, I thought he had to move the knight. My bad. Yeah, that's a common theme in this opening, D Price, that you don't have to move the knight. I don't know why, but I really like black's position here. Yeah, you know what's funny? A lot of people do. A lot of people do, bro. And I used to think the same thing until I started studying more in-game and more equal positions and understanding structures, right? I knew that for white, this is going to be for black, this is going to be a problem. Your bishop needs to figure out where to go. You always have to deal with this, and knight to c5 is going to be super, super nasty, right? So, you know, and the rooks can get super active as well. So what is queen f3 doing now? Okay, so preventing knight c4. He says, never mind. Yeah, hold on. Get this real quick. Come here. Garbage. And one more time. Garbage. All right. All right, coming in fun like, allowing your rook to get active. That's right. What's up, Dimple? Welcome to the stream. What's going on? What's up? Hey, Jesus, 8886 YT. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so queen f3 happens. What is this move about? Why do you play queen f3? Out of all the moves, what is queen f3 about? Can anyone say, what is this move about? Allowing the rook to come to the file. So we got that. We got that move. Knight g4 can't happen, obviously. Of course, I'm connecting the rooks, but I could have connected with queen d2, right? Or maybe went rook e1 first. Developing the queen, but why this square, though? Why this square? Out of all the squares, right? I could have played queen d2. That's more of a square you would look at, right? But queen f3 seems kind of strange, right? I mean, I can also get hit with bishop g4 immediately. So then where am I going? Am I going to go queen g3 and voluntarily double my pawns? Get to the h file. You want to trade queens and open up the f file. Okay, adding protection to e4 in the center. He has 3 attacks on it. Okay, f2, pressure on the center pawns. All right, cool, perfect. So here, in fact, all you guys are correct. I think everything's right. I just wanted to make sure y'all got right answers here. You have to answer these questions yourself. So when you win these tournament games, you'll be fine. You can do this on your own. Magnus says queen h3. I want you to lean real close to the camera or to whatever device you're watching on. Get very close to it and come catch this garbage real quick. That's disgusting. One more time for the people in the back. All right, now queen h3, and then but you just get you blocking with your whole face there. Start a new game after queen h3. It is not a move. That is not a move. Don't do that to yourself. That's okay though. We love you. Okay, so after queen f3, the move here actually is rook e8. This is the move here, and actually a key move that white does here that is really nice that I like here is queen to g3. You actually, this is number 1 on the engine too, by the way. Is queen to g3, voluntarily doubling the pawns. And we don't take with the f pawn. This is not the idea. Yes, I have doubled pawns, but really I'm a little bit better, just slightly in an endgame, right? I can still play on this. Of course, we still have this. I'm going to Magnus this man, basically. I'm just going to play the endgame. I can play f3 and g4. When you have this pawn cluster, what you're supposed to do is play f3, g4. This is this pawn structure. You have to understand the structure. Pawn structures are the GPS of the game. So if you understand what to do with this and what to do with this against this, I'm fine. I'm just kind of I'm following the plan. And if you deviate from the plan, well, then I beat you, right? So here, f3, g4, king f2, maybe play c3, b4, get the knight on c5, play a4 and a5, maybe play with the b6 pawn, freeze this one, right? Because it's forever weak. So the bishop has to sit here, which ties down the rook as well. I mean, this is nasty. I'm like, it's like strategically, as you feel good, not strategically won, but you feel very good and comfortable, which is a good thing to have. So after this didn't happen though, but queen to g3, this is the theory. And after queen takes, pawn takes, right? This is what I'm expecting. This is what I'm waiting for. He doesn't play it. He plays bishop e6. That is not in the theory. So the international master deviates. So I know that he deviates. So how you think I'm feeling right now? Like a big dog would, because a big dog could. I'm feeling great right now. I'm like, bro, I ain't never seen this move. I know that's not a move. So because this is not a move already, I just feel a little bit better about the game. About the game here. So let's see. Let's follow up. Let's follow up. Rook f e1. He go queen d6. I still got work to do. I'm like, whatever. I still go queen to g3 anyway. I still go queen to g3 anyway because that's the plan. I'm following the plan. He goes queen b4. He didn't want to trade. He understood that. And here I got a little bit lost after b3 because I defended the knight. I wanted to keep it. He played rook e8, and I couldn't figure out if I could play a3 or c3. There was little differences here that I was like, do I play a3 or c3? Like, which one? And there was differences in each one. There was a difference. I think if I play a3, if I play the difference here, if I go c3, he has queen a3, and I wanted my queen to be on d6 and not c7. And the reason for that, I forgot why the reason is so relevant. But there was a reason why I wanted to put my queen on d6 or maybe not c7, something like that. But the queen could tuck into a3. Oh, sorry, I clicked the little inspect thing. Okay, so queen a3 is annoying for me. And with the a3 option, though, when he goes here, he has tactics with this, right? Like, imagine this, right? If I go c3, I block this. But he has this, and I can't go here, which might be a square I need. I can't even get the knight to c5 anymore. That was it. That was clear to me. Yeah, c3 was like, if you go queen a3, I can't go b4. I can't get the knight to c5. This is really weird for me. And here, yes, I'm threatening the pawn, but then he just kind of like goes there, and I don't really want to draw. Basel, thanks for the 8. For the prime, that's prime too. So I thought this was kind of weird. I'm like, how do I get him out of here? Like, this is like strange to me. And then if I go a3, which this is what I did. I chose a3. And then he went queen a5, but you still have to constantly watch out for this right here. This right here. Like him moving the bishop somewhere and exposing this, right? And I played queen d6, which I was expecting him to actually try to, you know, liquidate or something and play bishop f5, which is really cool because he's threatening mate or like mates or kind of like mates. But he's obviously threatening the rook twice here. I thought about, you know, there's a b4 move in here that's like, this stuff gets tricky. I think b4 loses, or maybe not right now, but there was a line where b4 loses right now. This is hanging. I mean, there's tension here. So if you see queen takes a4, rook takes e1, takes, like, this is nuts. I was calculating all this over the board, bro. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. This is just, you know, lines can go so long. So a3, queen a5, right? I go queen d6, and a relief, he go rook c8. I'm like, rook c8. you know, that don't feel right. 100%. This gotta be. I gotta be winning here. So, and in fact, here I was like, okay, it's time to go into the tank. So I did go into the think tank here, and now, what did I play? White to move. What do you play now? What do you play now? What do you play now? Oh no, Jay Simmons. Shoot, you can use command culture for that, my guy. Just put exclamation point and culture in the chat. That'll tell you everything. And the rook takes e6. Okay. Okay. Knight to c5. Knight e2. It says 92 mate. You can't even go there. What is he talking? King e2 mate. Knight c5. Yeah, knight c5 is a good move too. Rook to d1. Knight c5. Right. These are all possibilities. Rook a to d. Yeah. The beloved knight move to c5. Extraterrestrial found it. I might be blocking with my face, but knight c5. No, knight c5 seems scary, right? I feel like it was some face blockage in there because I feel like a queen trapped and the knight's connected to it, right? Right. But here as well, queen to b4 is the move. This is the move I chose. Queen to b4. Boom, right there. There it is. Queen to 4. Beautiful move here. Letting and voluntarily double of the pawns. Voluntarily doubling of the pawns. Right. So after takes, you know, first off, a6 is hanging. Okay, he get one back, but so what? Knight c5. I was looking at this, and I calculated this, and I was like, okay, I have to be just better here. I was going to take with the rook, hit this pawn, tie him down. Right, bishop d7's force, and I think I was trying to figure out what to do from here, but obviously I'm just better. Obviously, white's just better here. You prefer to be white. So I'm going to just try to in-game this one and win, right? This is the goal. But, you know, he didn't play this. In fact, he didn't take it at all. He played queen to c7 and backed up. And then when he played queen c7, I'm like, hold up. Hey, bro. First off, my guy, that's a pawn. Bro, that's a pawn. That is a pawn. That's a free pawn, dog. That's a free pawn. So I took that boy. I'm like, yo, you're not about to, hey, bro, it's time. Cash in on the advantage. I take it. He goes c5. Well, he said, why is bishop d7 force? So bishop d7 is force. Like, if after rook takes a6 here in this situation, I mean, what else do you do, right? If you go rook to c8, you immediately lose on e6. So the problem here is that the pawn's hanging. I mean, you could just give me the pawn, though. Like, you could just like, give me the pawn. I mean, make it easy for me, right? So there's no other move besides, like, moving the bishop to defend it or defending this pawn or give me the pawn, right? So, and rook c8 gives this one up. So bishop d7 is best. Bishop d7 is literally nothing else to do there. Pawn is a pawn, correct, right? So I snap that boy. So queen c7, I take on a6. That's a pawn. He goes c5. I'm like, okay, I see you. Queen c3. He go rook a8. I'm like, oh, you hitting my pieces. Oh, he hitting my pieces. All right, bet. So white to move. What do you do, chat? He's hitting me again. What do I do now? He's hitting me again, chat. Kerpin Verpin. Yeah, that's a nice name. Thanks for the follow. Bishop b5. Bishop b5. What's good, Canty? What up, King Side 5-4? Jimmy Russells. What up, bro? Hey, you can sub free with Twitch Prime. Shout out to all the primers in the chat. See y'all. Twitch Prime's looking beautiful. What's good, Canty? What up? Knight takes c5. Bishop d4. Queen takes c5 from bruh, man. Bishop d4. Queen xc. Been a minute. Yes, sir. Queen takes c5. 100%, guys. It is queen takes c5. I played it here. I'm up 2 pawns. Flex real hard. I'm out of there. And after I took the second pawn, I stood up and I did a double bicep flex like Arnold would. Right? Right in the middle of the freaking, in the tournament. Right there. Right there. You know, in my head, only in my head, right? Because you can't do that. You don't do that in the real tournament. Jimmy Ruffles, thanks for the prime, my guy. Thanks for the prime. So I'm up 2 pawns. Now, I knew that this line was going to come right here. And it took me right here after before queen takes c5, it took me, actually, my coach, I got to write my moves down. I mean, I have to write my my time down now. Because I usually don't, but my coach was like, no, you need to. And I'm like, dang, bro, I never did it all my life. So now I'm actually doing more stuff. So I have to write my time down and show it to him later once we had the lessons and stuff. But this is, so here, I think I spent like, I don't remember. That's why it's important to like write some time down. Probably like, how much time did I have, bro? I don't remember. But I spent a little bit of time. I know I spent time on this because I had to calculate this line that he went for right here. This was calculated. I went c5. He went queen f4. Why is this relevant? Because all my pieces over here doing a thing, first off, this is hanging. This is hanging. Secondly, he about to go knight g4 for the score and about to open up the door. You know what I'm saying? He about to open up everything. And then like, hey, bro, and then you got queen h6 in here. If I go h4, there's a g5 in there. The bishop still maybe could, you know, get into the light squares. I'm kind of looking, look at all these arrows. Bro, on one side of the board, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yo, I was like, yo, so you have to think about this. I'm up 2 pawns right now, but you have to convert this. You have to convert this and you have to watch out for all these arrows I just drew. So white to move here. Exactly. D Price finds it. Bishop f1. I saw this in my calculations. So now if I can play g3, which he does go knight g4, only hitting 1 pawn because the queen does go backwards, guys. It defends f2. So it's hitting h2. I go g3. You get up out of there, right? This is all forced, right? Queen h6. And I saw this, right? And because I played bishop f1, I can play h3. Oh my goodness. So now I can hit this knight. So it's different. So I make you back up, big fella. Going back to the crib first before you do anything. Going back to the crib first. Does h4 work? h4 is probably suicide, my guy. I mean, you're looking crazy out here. Like I go g5 and I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna look at you real hard. I'm about to stare at you extremely hard and uncomfortable until you figure this out. Until you figure this out. You'll move, big fella. You'll move. I don't know what to do now. I don't even know what to do. I'm just dumb. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I was not doing this. I was not about to let him do this. No. So h3, I kicked the knight away and have a nice day. And then that man went home. And then I was like, cool, we got to trade. I go queen e3. Right. This is it. Yeah, I play queen e3 right here. Queen e3, queen g6. And then I hit him again. Bishop d3, queen h5. We keep hitting him. g4. Defend the pawn. Queen over here. I'm up 2 pawns. Queen h4, queen g3. And he has to trade queens here. He has to trade queens. Why? Well, of course you could go back, but if you go here, I mean, cool. You want to sign the score sheet now or no? Like, I mean, it's up to you. You know, you can sign it right now, or we can like, you know, we can wait a few minutes. You know, but queen g5 and then f4 is the same thing, right? We can sign the score sheet right now if you're ready. So it's game over in many cases. In fact, actually, I think this was a little different because you have maybe here, but can't I just move my queen somewhere like anywhere? Literally anywhere there's not hanging. Look at that. Like, look at the queen trapped in there. That's crazy. That's nuts, the queen's trap. So, you know, it was like, I saw this. I go queen g3. He snaps. I snap back. And then we get into this position here where I think I was a little bit inaccurate at a certain point here. We was getting a little bit of time trouble too as well. You can't avoid the endgame, but I'm up 2 pawns. So at this point, I knew. I'm like, I got my mans. The IM about to go down. Like, the IM is about to go down. Right? So I'm ready for it. But I'm like, you still have to, like, get your composure because the hardest game to win is a game that you win it. I think that comes from, I don't know if that was Kramnik or Anand that said that, but that's a real quote. No, that's like facts. The hardest game to win is a game that you win it. I don't remember who said this. This was Kramnik or not, but this is where you start to get relaxed, right? And this is where your opponent starts to be stockfish out of nowhere. They just start playing the best moves ever. Somehow, some way, they start finding everything. But here, after bishop b5 or b8 hitting the bishop, right? So I take on d7. In fact, here, I had another move, and this is what I didn't like. I actually missed this. Now, I saw that I could do this, but I thought that my bishop was trapped because of this. After rook e7, I thought I had to move my bishop. I actually didn't see knight c5. If I would have saw knight c5, I probably would have went for this line immediately. I just didn't see this. I just didn't see this. And then I could play b4, solidify the knight. I mean, knight. Like, this game's completely over. No counterplay at all. Because this game still, this is move like 30. This still went another 40 moves to tell you how long this game was. And the man was definitely fighting for his life. Like, he was fighting me for real, bro. I ain't never had to, I mean, I have fought like hard in games, but dog, this was a game to fight. And this would have really helped me a lot if I would have found knight c5. But what I didn't like is I thought I had to move the bishop. And what's crazy is, what if I move the bishop, right? Well, now you're looking crazy out here because you just lost the bishop back. So now I'm down in exchange. I'm up 2 pawns though, but I'm down in exchange. And this could be losing now. It's Alaska Crow. Thanks, GP. Thanks to Alaska. Okay. But here, yeah, I knew it was close for somebody. But look at this, right? So now the bishop's trapped. So, oh, snap. It was Lasker. Thanks, chat. Lasker said, okay. But After rook takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, I just had knight c5. I didn't see that. So I went for the old rusty route like this, like takes, knight c5, right? And I'm like, bro, I'm up 2 pawns. I can't lose this, right? I can't lose this. In fact, it felt like at one point I almost did. But let's go through that. So b4, king e7, king f2. All right, we're going to make some moves here, knight b3. This was all good. All good. And he hit, bro, watch this. I mean, the man is strong for a reason. You don't just get the title. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't just get I am. Like, the man is strong. He's very strong. So watch this, right? H5, king f3. Everything seemed to be going well. It feels like I'm just going to convert this. It's going to take time. Knight d4. Okay, I'm still winning here. Engine gives us +3. Rook b to c8, right? And then I go, okay, cool. I go a4, right? Nice little tactic. You know, I love my tactinos, right? Shout out to my grandfather Tao. If rook takes, then I go knight b5, right? So I'm waiting on that, and I get a free push because I'm like, oh, cool. You can't take that. You can't take that at all. He go bishop d7. I'm like, cool, whatever, right? Because now he's stopping knight b5, whatever. Rook a3, defend the pawn. So now the pawn is ultra defended here. And then watch this. This man, bro, he's strong. He is strong. I did not expect him to do this. He played this move right here. Rook takes d4. I was like, what the heck? You have to be out your mind. You garbage. I was like, oh, this is over. I'm like, that can't be right. This literally can't be right. But after taking and rook c4, this was not the easiest. I went here thinking I got the 2 ops, right? And 2 rooks here, you know, push them on down the road. It's going to be an easy one. But after rook takes, it got a little bit difficult. I'm not even going to lie. This thing got a little bit difficult here. I played b5. Best move on the engine. Actually, no. You know what's funny? Oh, no, it didn't move. But rook b2 is best. I don't know why. Oh, I looked at this. I looked at rook b2 because I was like, there's a check coming down here. He's threatening this. This is kind of weird. I mean, this is literally kind of weird. I'm not even going to lie to you. Not even going to lie to you. But b5, he took. Oh, he captured on g4. King f2, rook d2 check. King e3, rook g2. So here I thought to myself, I was like, if I go king f4, you know, there might be some mating techniques in here for him, believe it or not. He had, in this game was so wild, bro, that there was points in here where I was like, there are people watching at home right now, and I can't go out. I can't go home. Like, I'm not going home, bro. If I get mated, like, with this rook and his bishop and these pawns, I'm not going home. I'm not. So it's like, I was like, yo, this was scary, bro. Because like if king f4, it was like some stuff in here, bro. I can't remember how, but there were some, and let's see. Let's just move on a little bit. I think I did. I went king f4, he went bishop d1. And then I think I went rook d3, but there is a mating possibility in here. Okay, so here's a like line. Like, what if I go rook e3, which looks absolutely ridiculous because it kind of is. Rook check, king g5, and I'm almost like, this feels weird, right? This feels weird, you know, bishop c2 maybe. Or if this is wrong, like there's a mate, you know, here. Like, let's just say, for instance, something like this happens. Look how stupid this is, you know? Look how crazy that is that I could get mated in some of these lines if I'm not careful. So I had to be very careful here. So after bishop d1, I played rook d3. I hit the bishop. Now you got to move around. I need to keep some squares for my king, which this was a blunder. In fact, this went from +4. I should have just played b6. For some reason, I couldn't get this to work. Let me see it now. b6 takes. You take. Wow, I just literally thought, okay, what about? But then he still, oh man, I was shook. I was definitely shook somehow. Like, looking at this, how do you get back? You never get back. I don't understand what I was thinking about. Looking at it now, bro, this is why you get better. This is why you analyze your games and you get better. It's like why didn't I looked at this, but for some reason, b6, I felt like he has something else. I just felt like he didn't have it. And also time pressure too, right? He said I am pressure. Also time pressure too. I'm up in exchange. You can't fail. There's just all these, yeah, you're just seeing ghosts, right? Which does happen. Which does happen. Rook d3 and then bishop c2. I go rook a2 here though, because I was trying to figure out where to put this rook. I don't want to draw. Rook f3 didn't feel, and I didn't like rook f3 because he had this. And I was like, what the heck do I even do when he pushed the pawn? And I'm like, I'm not trying to draw this. Lend me a pawn. Thanks for gifting that sub too as well. It was rough, man. But rook d3, bishop c2, rook a2. So I go here. He goes rook e2. Then I go rook d to a3 and d4. He pushes. I'm feeling a little bit better here. I bring the king back. Right, he go rook h2, moves out the way. Now it's time to push them, boys. b6, king e5. He goes in, and I'm like, whoa, you know. You know, it's funny. right? Yo, if oh man, bro, like, I mean, what would be a move here that you would play, chat? Let's just put it out here. Okay, chat. White to move. What do you play in this position? Let's see who's alert. Let's see what we got. I got B7 from GP. Omar. What's up, Omar? Hindsight is always 2020, right? I would have lost this endgame. Man, this is hard. This is a hard endgame. Rive with G4. Tiger King with G4. Ballsy okay with G4. G4, get more space with elevation. Rook takes bishop from INF. A5. Okay. Yo, Shamballing with the 5-piece. Thanks for the 5 months. Rook D3. Rook takes C2. Hey, sheesh, big fella. Yes, sir. Don't get mated. G3, up 1. G4. Rook takes bishop. In fact, rook takes bishop and G4 are the best moves. Clap it up. Clap it up. You're right. Very good, chat. Very good. Very good. Rook takes bishop does win. 100%. Here, again, I mean, I think I was in a little bit of time trouble as well. I also was like, you know, I was a little frightened, just a little bit, because I was like, yo, there are mating, like when you go from like being up in exchange and like I'm up 2 pawns to like, yo, this is bait and 1. Hold on, like you start thinking a little bit more cautiously. So I played G4 because if you do anything else, you actually get mated, right? Actually, sorry, it's not even here. It's bishop D1. Look at this mate. Bishop to D1 is mate, guys. Look at this. How do you get mated like this on national television? All these people watching? I'm not going home. I'm not going home, right? Bishop takes E2 is disgusting. You're not going home. I'm just not. I never talk about this game like, you know, you're lucky I have to shake your hand and not swing on you. You know, for that, oh man. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. Right. So all right. So I play G4. Right. He goes bishop E4 check. All right, I go king G3 and then he goes rook H1 with the little perpetuals kind of everywhere. Like I think he has like some weird checking ideas. So I just said, give me that. Rook A1, we don't need none of that. Rook H6, and then I finally push, right? Then he goes F5. We got to take those. Takes. Rook F1 check just to back him off. You're getting a little bit too close. Get up off me. King E5, right? King E5. Start swinging on that stuff. Right, Rook E1. Just to pin him because I didn't want him to do nothing with this bishop. I'm like, you know what, bro? You're getting on my nerves. I don't want you to do anything with this bishop anymore. If you think you about moving your king, I'm going to take this. I promise you. So he played rook check, king F2, check again, king E2, and he moves. Look at that. I mean, man, strong, right? Waited till my king got in front of the rook before he moved his king, so now I can't sack. I mean, the guy is good, bro. Like, you don't just make IM. And then B7, trying to queen here. He goes D3 check, last ditch effort. And then the final blow. We take those! You ever dunked before? I can't, but if you do, you like, you know how LeBron come down, right? You know, rook takes D3 check. That's how I was feeling here. So after takes, he goes rook F3 check, king E2, rook B3. After that, it's a wrap. Yo, I need a drink with the 200. What's up, girl? Thanks for the 200 bits and a hype train to end it off. And a hype train to end off this analysis here. This went a little long, 37 minutes. We're gonna call this video for YouTube, right? Some Jobava masterclass, certain line or whatever, right? But here, A6, rook to B2, check, king F3, and then king C6, rook C1 check, and then he resigned after A7. Ooh, bye. Yo, look at them two up there, man. Look at them just peacefully sitting up there. Like, how you doing? Yeah, me and the homies, we just chilling. We just taking a walk, about to do our thing. And this was a dub, and I was able to win this game, right? This was one of my Jobava games. And this tournament, I played the Jobava London 3 times, 2 draws and the win, right? So I'm telling you, this Jobava is something serious out here.